Thank you, Tom. Hey everyone, welcome, Davey, Tonga, one of our newest members.
Hello.
Uh, Bruno, Septi, Tam. Well, if someone could please share the retrospective board. Hey, Griff.
GM.
Hey, GM.
GM, man! Long time no see!
Yeah, I love these calls. Can't miss the sprint retro.
Yeah, cheerleader energy just increased by over 9,000. Cool. Right. Yeah. So everyone, we're barely starting. Tam just shared the retrospective board, which is a new link. It's on the Stewards channel. Check it out. And yeah, this is Sprint 33rd, 3-3, huh? And yeah, I mean, like we know, we use a Scrum methodology. So every 2 weeks we go over what went well, what could have gone better, and what are we going to do about it, right? Some actions to improve that. And right now, Ivy was kind enough to, like always, put the voting stars. Right now, they're like McDonald's fries. That's pretty cool. Okay. Yeah. Well, everyone else starts joining. Why don't we? Yeah, it took some time to write what went well for your working group, for the people that networked in Amsterdam. What went well for you guys? That's interesting. Not all the spring retrospective. We have a conference that we can talk about and sort of like give out what went well over there. So something you would like to share, something you want to celebrate. We're gonna take a couple minutes. I'm gonna start the timer, and you know the drill. Just collectively sense make around what we've been doing. Okay, let's start. Cool.
All right, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and then we'll share it again when we read.
Cool, thank you.
Sorry, I just joined. Are we already working in the Miro board?
Yes, sir. There's a new link for it. It's on the Stewards channel. Help yourself to it, and we're barely started. 1 minute in, we have enough time. Cool. We'll just give a couple, maybe 30 more seconds to finish out, and we'll get moving. Okay, cool. So, Bruno, could you get us started? I don't think you've ever done this for us, but could you get us started reading what went well on the Miro board, please? Yeah. Thank you, Bruno. Wow, that was certainly elating and cool. So now we go around and say something more personal about what we've written here. For my part, I'm glad that the second newsletter went out. There's people coming in wanting to help on HubSpot. I love how the comms working group is just each group is just laser focused on what they're doing. They're doing it well. Talk about division of labor right there. And yeah, I'm excited to see what people learn out there in Amsterdam and what people might come from the connections done over there. And it's funny, there's not a word in Spanish for this, but yeah, when you feel, I feel I'm at a loss with the word, but the fact that Chuy is meeting with Septi, I feel, I found vicariously. I'm vicariously happy that Chuy is meeting with Septi. And there's not a word for that in Spanish. You're having that empathy and actually feeling it like if you're being there, internalizing it after it's happening to you. So, yeah. Anyway, that's what went well for me. I'm going to pass it to Tam.
I mean, all of this was really great. I was so much prioritizing in real life that I wasn't really very active on Discord and not in the forums and a little bit not knowing what was going on so much. But, you know, Manu covered so much so well, and other people covered so much so well. Eduardo, Gideon, everyone was just really stepping up. Mitch, you're doing like 40 different things at the same time, all the time. So I think that TEC is actually a really fertile ground for emergent leaders. I just feel like there's so much consideration for people to sort of take leadership roles, and
Tam froze to me.
Froze, yeah. Tam is it's lagging your screen. We only see you, Iceman, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger in the Batman movie right there. But yeah, when your internet comes out, yeah. Anyway, I'll pass it to Griff.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so great to see people in person working on things like that ABC page, stats page, like seeing that you guys had a whiteboard. Oh, that's so exciting and so fun. Yeah, I'm so much FOMO or I'm just like, man, I wish I could have gone to Amsterdam. It would have looked like so much fun. Also, just the praise stuff is moving so fast. There's people looking for praise as a product and other groups that want to use it. It seems like it's going really well, and we have a lot of energy going towards that, which is really nice. Yeah, and it's great to see new people really stepping up and taking leadership, like Bear 100 and Gideon holding down potentially a new working group, and Benz and NT coming in strong. It's just it's great to see this like flow of energy being so distributed. And yeah, and Wonka and Tam talking, giving talks in Amsterdam is always good. Like, you know, I miss Nate, but at the same time, it's great to see him being a dad and with a beard, basically, because you know, who has time to shave? Yeah, and it's nice to see Tonga back. I assume this is the same Tonga, so maybe I'll pass it to you, Tonga. Yeah, it is. Hey, Tonga, good to see you back too, man. Do you have any? I mean, you probably weren't around much for this last sprint, but do you have anything to talk about in this? About what we know?
It just makes me so happy to see like almost the same people and new people that seem to be really worth. Like the same people that we were working last year, and I took away some time from the blockchain overall because it got to a point that it was scary, you know, in many senses. Not in the TEC, but in some farms. Thinking of the farms and the biggest companies saying weird contradictory things in like in some sense they were in the documentation saying how to put their routers, and in the forum commenting that they were going to prosecute the people that put the routers. So it became so scary that I was like, this is too stressing. I need time off. But the TEC has always been more human, and I was trying to be a developer, but if there is tasks that I even bought a new notebook for writing tasks and trying to even do more manual stuff, or if there is easy development stuff, I can do. I know I'm not a very skilled developer, but I'm in the middle. So whatever I can help, yeah, I'm back. And I don't have that much time, but I will try to be clear in how much time I have, how what you can expect, and yeah. But what makes me really happy is to see you all again. Yeah, pass back to grief. That is always.
I'll take it. Intercept the tongue. Thank you. Yeah, and we're working on getting you on working on the things that energize you and the things that you feel skillful at. So we'll get you on board in no time for sure. I'm gonna pass it to Juanca. Hey, Tam's back.
Yeah, for me also these weeks have been really special because I've had like experiences that I won't forget, and this is all thanks to be part of this ecosystem. Getting to know other cultures and getting to know amazing people. Um, like escaping my local reality and at the same time feel connected with multicultural experiences. um I see that also strengthening and representing Colombia and strengthening relationships between Colombia and the TE Academy. um that's really cool. And like in Gravity, I just talked with Livia about this, that we are still fragile, but at the same time, we are trying to acquire maturity. So it's like a like an uncertain and moment, but it's also something that we will try to continue moving and trying to sort every obstacle with the best intentions. And I'll pass to Septi.
Thank you, Juan. Yeah, for me, like the ones we created not created, but just got tired at in Amsterdam was so great. Like I feel like we always like we're going to sleep at the same time. Like was it was like I don't know, like a family just going back home, try on the bicycles together every day. And actually, it was every day. It was so cool. Another thing that went so well, in my opinion, is like we start talking with like there is a lot of seeds planted with some people like like we were talking with Nagen with the Tefi Ginger from Year Finance, like just to swap ideas from reward system. Then Pablo was talking with the Polygon crew how to possible do some partnership with the TC. I mean, everything is just seeds there. That might be something, might be nothing, but it's good. Like it's happening. And I went, oh yeah, and of course, like even if I was away for a week, like I feel like Transparency Working Group was just doing everything just great, and it was awesome. Like they roll it by themselves, and it's awesome. Like see like people taking ownership, it's great, and it feels relieving for me. Like I don't have to be everywhere. It's awesome feeling. Yeah, I'll pass it to Mitch.
Thanks. Like I said in the stewards call, glad to have you all back so that things can get moving again. Yeah, like some stuff I mentioned, it was cool to see the progress in the proposal inverter wireframes. The funds actually getting sent in for the water proposal. Wow, that was awesome. And awesome forum post by Z-Way and yourself, Zepti, with the reward system and like eventually sending out TEC. So I feel like that's been some really great progress there. And I can pass it to Chui.
Thanks. I'm a little bit late, so I'll pass it back to you, Manu, while I get some more context.
Sure. I'll swing it over to Costa.
Thank you, Manu. And as Manu said, I'm also really happy that Amsterdam went so well. I can see in the onboarding data that a lot of people are coming through the talks and ETH Amsterdam in general. I'm really happy about it. I feel like you represented the TC super good. And I'll pass it on to Lauren.
Yeah. So I just jumped in like two. We're just doing like what went well, right? Yeah. Cool. I'm really excited about TE Tuesdays. I mean, we were talking about it in the Twitter sync about having like a weekly, or maybe not every Tuesday, but some Tuesdays having like an educational tweet post thing. And so I was also really excited about the reception that the conviction voting tweet thread got. That was really great. And yeah, just like hearing the hype and the afterflow from Amsterdam is also really great. And I too am excited that the funds went for the water proposal. I'm excited that I think water proposal is going to be getting started up soon, or like I don't know. Mitch knows more than me, but it seems like it's going to happen now. Yeah, I'll pass it. I actually don't know who didn't go. I'll pass it back to you, Manu.
I'll pass it to Livia.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm really excited about the kickoff we had for the T Governance Guild yesterday. Just feels like a lot of challenges that were hard to point and map out are starting to become more clear. And yeah, and also the session I just had with Juanca to like structure a little bit more the graviton training and just seeing things getting more maturity, and also how the review sessions and the analysis happening in the quant sessions are being very insightful and helpful for us to untangle things. And I'll pass to Tam. I think you were cut.
Yeah, Tom, did you finish or?
Yeah, I finished. And I also see we're a little short on time, so I'll pass back to you, Manu.
Okay, cool. Yeah, all right. Yeah, so moving on to what could have gone better. I'll take some time, about maybe 4 or 5 minutes, to write down what do you think there's room for improvement. So let's start a timer now. Welcome, Drugas. We are at the what we could do better part of the Sprint retrospective on our mural board. I will send you the link via DM.
Oh, I have it.
It's a different one. Actually, psych, we're gonna take less time for writing down, so give you maybe 30 more seconds to finish writing down your thoughts, and then we're gonna get moving. Cool.
Maybe we can shorten the time that people have to speak instead of shortening the time to write things down. Because I think there's like 12 of us now in this call. So if everyone does like 30 seconds, we'll probably be able to meet the end. But this time, I don't know if we should shorten this, because there's usually a lot of stuff to put down.
You're right. You heard from a horse.
I need time to think.
Ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. I'll take 3 more minutes, and then we'll be economic with what we speak about. Okay, so we're about done. Feel free to keep writing down if something comes up. It's not a hard close right there. And Tonga, would you help us reading out what we could do better? The middle pillar there on the board.
Okay, I have no idea about some of these things,
So
but
Chewy, can you help us?
Yes. Okay. Sorry for the background noise. Franco is just improving the giveth house thing. There's a new area or something like that. But yeah, I'll tell you about that later. Right now, stuff that we can do better is it took 3 days for laser tag to pass that transaction. Traveling back home is time consuming. Create more forms of revenue. Create demand for TEC. Revisit praise transcription. Feature development is too slow for the reward system. Financial working group is needed more and more every day. TEC whales not participating. Praise transcribing is a single point of failure. Flocking not happening on the garden. Transcribed praise is low quality, often dismissed. Took 24 hours of travel to get home from Amsterdam. Strikes at the airport wreaked havoc. +2. Hard to get meaningful feedback in the forum. Time management could be better, especially in calls. We don't account for people going to conferences in our mind. No TEC talks on Shelling Point. We should evolve the steward funding proposal for the next request. Mint TEC is a great idea that hasn't taken off. It's gimmickly, but also leads us to ask ourselves, how do we create more demand for TEC? Most revenue solutions we have are long-term. How can we improve our presence in real-life events without putting in money? Also, no judges from the TEC at the hackathon. More usage of labor rating structures in calls. TEC holders never go up. We are always the same people. More stewards should attend liberating structures meetings. Sep finger. Chewy's left knee. Continue exploring async management. Knowing how to put a fair service to our services. Fragility versus maturity. And the reward system is excluding key voices that could improve it.
Cool. Thank you, Chewy. All right. Well, why don't we pass it around for a couple seconds each, maybe 30 seconds each, and just sharing out what you think we could do better. And should we vote at the same time or afterwards, Sam?
I guess we don't. I've been skipping the voting on this board at all because we usually run out. We usually end up around here with not so much time to vote.
Okay.
Maybe we just do just the last vote, the actions to improve.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. So let's just go around and share what we think about it, and we'll skip the vote and we'll go on to the next one. But yeah, Lauren, would you like to get us started?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, just kind of reading through people's comments. I think the thing that stands out most to me about could do better is it is like kind of a bummer that we didn't have so much talk exposure in Amsterdam aside from the Taoist, and then this kind of going in hand in hand with TEC holders not going up, always being the same people and creating more demand for TEC. I think creating more exposure. I mean, I think we're doing awesome stuff here in the TEC, and I think that we're just not as well known in the DAO space as we could be, and that's something that we could do better. And I'll pass it to Tam.
And I would say, yeah, the thing around TEC, Mint TEC just seems like such a great campaign idea, and it was something that Sean YGG brought, and I just love the idea of like Mint TEC being sort of like the rallying cry, but also thinking about how do we create more demand for TEC? How does it become attractive for people to actually participate in using TEC? I think that's the one that's stuck out most for me as something that we could actually brainstorm on taking an action into the next sprint. And I'll pass to Juanca.
Yeah, I would say that it would be really cool to know how to put a fair price to our services. As you know, like we are working with Aragon, um, offering our services of structuring a conflict management group. But I think that the prices that we set were low, and now we are seeing it. So it would be really cool to know how to offer our services with that being a gain, and not only having an unbalanced financial structure. And I'll pass it to Chui.
Yes, I was just writing to Manu like an idea that has been around for a while. I think that this revenue part of it is just like keeps coming back, and the and the common pool keeps coming down. So it's definitely something that I would consider a priority at the moment. It's just like I don't know, like I was just like brainstorming, like okay, what if there's like a token gated community for people that are looking for like some kind of like token engineering input, but how do we manage expectations around that? How do like who is gonna like pretty much like run the stuff, right? Like is it gonna be like steward driven? Like yeah, it's just like there's a bunch of things still like around this issue, but I do feel that it probably needs to be like the next thing that we all like jump in, because yeah, it's just like I can't remember like any of these like retrospectives where there was like one issue that kept coming back after so many sprints. So yeah, there's a raising concern for this, and I feel that rather than like the part of like taking it seriously, just like brainstorm. Like I feel that at this point there are gonna be like no bad ideas around this. So probably it's what I would think we could do better. And I'll pass it to Libby.
Thanks. Yeah, I think the issue of transcribed praise came back, of being like something that's not really working for us. It's a work that is not being paid. For Manu, there's not so much incentive on keeping that up. The praise is low quality. There's many issues that are coming back in the quantifications, and that's affecting how people are quantifying praise. So that's something we could talk about. And also, yeah, I feel like a lot of the solutions for financial stuff we have are long term. And also we have a problem in supply of like actual token engineering services. That is the highest demand we have, of like people really wanting token engineering help, assistance, and how we could fill the gaps to build more talent quicker. And yeah, I think that's it. And low engagement in the forum. It feels hard to like put a proposal for advice process, and then we've been saying to keep it there for 5 days, but the engagement, I think in general, it's probably related with time management and times and calls and things like that. So something to look at. And I'll pass to Zapti. Did you go?
Thanks, Levi. Yeah, for me, one thing on the TC, that today I was making a video watching the Dune dashboard, and yeah, like the token holders, like we almost are the same people that we're in the hatch, and we were supposed to be like this little group that protects the commons, not like the commons itself. So yeah, that's something I think like we should start, somehow getting reach to more people. And then another thing, like I think I could do better, and I think we as a commons too. Like it's like, yeah, and when we go on conferences, get more ready, not just be, like I even was so lucky that I had done to get to the places, and then yeah, like just be more ready and prepare and have a strategy around how to use that time and the resources we're spending there. So yeah, and be very useful for the commons. I'll pass it to Lauren.
Well, I went first.
I'll pass it to Juanca.
I also went.
Oh wow, my bad. Bruno.
Yeah, I mean, most of the cards are still in this revenue stream style, and I actually like that some of them also are talking about it's not just revenue, although we need revenue, or I think it's a good idea to find sources of revenue. It's also creating more demand for the TEC is something, and there are two different things, and we should really like see them as two different paths to take, and maybe we can try one path for each. And start focusing on exploring paths for those things. I would love to see us make our whole Discord gated. Honestly, you don't have TEC tokens, sorry, you can't come in. And we can do our outreach in the TE Discord, and do Communitas and even community calls there if we want. But make this Discord something that is a scarce resource, and you have to have TEC to get into. Maybe even like 100 TEC or something. Also, yeah, I think a lot of the stuff is we just don't we don't appreciate that people are gone for conferences, and that has like a network effect, right? Like when people are MIA, that means that there's just less engagement on things and and we just kind of forget that the rest of us are just hanging out at home working, and it's like, why is no one listening to me? Because they're all partying in Amsterdam, and then that like cascades. So I feel like we just need to be aware. Like, I think this is why it took 3 days to pass the laser tag multi-sig. I think this is why it's hard to get meaningful feedback in the forum. I think there's a few things in this that all kind of coalesce to this concept that we're not really appreciating that people are effectively MIA or like AFK or some other acronym. I'll pass it to Mitch.
Thanks, Griff. Yeah, that was a struggle getting that water proposal passed. And I think it's more of an endemic problem of just like maybe the biggest TEC token holders aren't really participating or paying attention. So it's like we gave them responsibility and they're not really like, they don't have the bandwidth to do it, or they're not interested. And so maybe that's like part of a bigger problem. Next thing there, talking with Livy and looking at the praise data and quantifications, it looks like this transcribing praise just makes a whole lot of headaches for the reward system, and so it's like, I don't know, it's just making more problems, I think, than it solves for the community. So that was something that really became a glaring issue, based on our feedback in the quants. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. I was MIA for a second, so I don't know who's left.
Me?
And Durgas.
Yes.
Shall I go?
Yes, Costa. You go.
The only thing from my side is that I've been doing the edits to the handbook, but the changes are not being accepted. But maybe it's because of Amsterdam, but that's the only thing for me.
Cool. I'll pass it to Durgas to finish us off.
Yeah, I just put in it would be great to see more stewards at the liberating structures stuff, and I'd like to propose that we use the formal what, so what, now what liberating structure for retrospectives of this kind as a structure. So I would sort of challenge the stewards to take a look at liberating structures and find maybe 3 top liberating structures that might help in your specific group, and try to maybe work within that to get some practice with it. And then maybe that sort of practice or mindfulness would, make you grow an affection for these excellent things that would, I think, help us maintain the commons and help us reinforce I think what we've all done with each other over the last year and a half, and also bring more people into the fold to reinforce whatever other efforts we're making to popularize TEC and to token and other things. So that's my bit. Thanks.
Thank you. Cool. So now take some time to start writing out the actions to improve. Grief just started there. Yeah, so take a couple of minutes. Cool. Let's take some seconds to finish up, and then we'll get we're going and talking about this. Yeah. Okay, are we about ready? Or does anyone think they need more time? We are? Yes, okay. Cool, well, if inspiration hits you at the last seconds, then write it down at the end, but for now, I'm gonna start reading them. So, bring more awareness to who is going to be MIA during the sprint, maybe. Do online talks on other Discord servers. We're awesome world would benefit for knowing us. Strategic growth on Twitter, have someone dedicated to the effort. Make a list of possible consulting services that TC can offer with the current community. How can we actually have more presentations in conferences? DevCon, ETH Barcelona, ETHCC in Paris, Amen. Token gated community, how is it going to work? How can we keep being a cool community? Yeah. I mean, we are cool, but it's funny. Members dish their own praise. Stop transcribing. Again. Okay. Shuffle out inactive TC holders on our multisig. NT is working on an async management proposal. It's cool. Make some of the free services paid. Okay. Council dedicated to exploring or practicing one or two liberating structures to be suggested by Durga, Jeremy, and Orlean. Start preparing for ETH Barcelona, ETHCC, and ETH Mexico. Have someone to organize a plan. Everyone types their praise in the community call. More CAD, more token spies, and more machinations, workshops, and/or parties, and more cowbell. How can team contributors feel more supported? Choose 3 of your favorite liberating structures and use them in your working group. Another UX for dishing praise, click on face and preset praise. Algene can help transcribe praise, okay. Add the availability of our members to the sprint, revisit the steward and working group coordination lead funding and find improvements for the next funding request, which will happen in May. Financial working group call today, 5 p.m. Eastern. Okay. Yeah, everyone write that down, 5 p.m. Eastern. I don't think there was a Google invite call for it. Lydia brought that to our attention, but I mean, we're done. Yeah, take some time now to pick from the stars. Where are they fries? I don't know, but grab a couple stars there and vote down on your favorite. You can use 2 stars to, you know, as a pseudo conviction voting type of thing. And yeah, only a couple minutes for this, so okay. Okay.
French fries count as triple, right?
Okay, it's a close one, so maybe just 20, 30 more seconds, because this is, yeah, I don't know why it's exciting to be putting stars, and it's like 2 contenders and one's about to win, but yeah, let's get some dopamine off of it, and then we'll read the winners. Okay, I think it's clear now. Although that French fry is, wow, it's OP. But okay.
I'm gonna have one question. I just have one question. Is the problem with the transcriptions just that transcriptions mess up the data? Would it actually be helpful if Algene, if somebody was to take this on as like something they do, or is it more that it's just the transcribing that is an issue? I don't know. This question is really for Livia.
I can speak to that, sure. So the problem is that during the community call, you've got 45 seconds to say it all as quickly as possible. And so there's no context, we're missing tons of information, and it's like, it's kind of turns into this like thoughtlessness, like praise TEC for doing everything, and it's not really helpful. So having it written down would be good, and then they can also say it, you know, because the person who's giving the praise has the most context, you know? So it doesn't make sense because Manu has no context, you know, besides this like 5-second blurb that they shouted as quick as they could. So, you know, that's making big issues for us to give it a proper score in the rewards system.
Okay, thanks for that. Sorry, Manu, I used one of our last 2 minutes.
That's fine. That's we can talk about that tomorrow at the sprint planning. Yeah, so the ones that won were strategic growth on Twitter, have someone dedicated to the effort. Or actually, that got second place. The first one was start preparing for ETH Barcelona, ETH CC, and ETH Mexico. Have someone organize a plan. How can we actually have more presentation in conferences? DevCon, ETH Barcelona, ETH CC coming. That got 6 stars, and then 5 stars strategic growth on Twitter, have someone dedicated to the effort. Yeah, so I had a scraping Twitter initiative issue, but the engineer that was working on it had some family issues. So if the community now thinks it's important, I'll revisit that. I'll see if he's available. If not, I'll have some other developer do that. But yeah, that's pretty much, those are the 2 that won. We're about at the top of the hour. Yeah, make sure to think on some issues or things on how we can actually execute on those actions that we want to improve, conceptualize them, ideate them, and then execute on them. And yeah, right now is the orientation call. So you're welcome to join us. I'll be hosting that call as well. And well, that's pretty much it. Tom, did you, want to say something?
Just wanted to say thanks, Manu, for facilitating.
Okay, sure. Yeah, well, thanks everyone. Thanks everyone for all this. This is just how we crowdsource our ideas, and it's exciting. Cool. Well, thank you everyone. I'll see you around during the orientation call. Update your slides. Update your slides. Cool.
Bye.